Hey guys, Tyler Dowse here from Ty's Torque Talk. Today we're looking at 2025 Acura ADX. This is the A-Spec trim. So top of the line for ADX. This is going to be the entry-level model vehicle for Acura's SUV line. So this thing is packing a lot of really good technology, super sharp looks, friendly on the price tag as well too, and on fuel economy. But today we're going to talk about it all. We're going to go over the exterior, interior, take it out for a drive on the road, see how it performs. Let's get started. Okay, starting the ADX. Right before we get to the exterior, let's pop the hood open, see what this thing's packing here. So this isn't assisted. You do have a pop rod in this, but most of the competitors in this segment will be doing the same thing. So have a look under the hood here. This is the ADX A-Spec engine. We got a 1.5 liter turbo VTEC 4-cylinder engine here. We're pushing out 190 horsepower, 179 pound-feet of torque. Do get good fuel economy out of this. You're looking at about 26 mpgs in the city, 31 on the highway. 0 to 60 is a little bit slower, coming in at 8 seconds. And overall vehicle weight, it is pretty light. We're sitting at about 3,611 pounds. So while it is a little bit on the lower power end of the scale, it is quite light. So you'll definitely feel that when you're driving this guy around here. But that's about it for the engine. Let's talk about exterior styling now. Okay, exterior time. First thing, right out the gates, have a look at the hood. Kind of similar to a couple other vehicles in the lineup, especially like the ZDX. Got that sharp line down the middle, kind of flares out on either side. It's a nice, sporty, aggressive looking front end. And then down here, you got that famous Acura styled front fascia to the grille here. It's its unique look. I don't even know how to describe it really. But it looks fantastic here on the ADX. And in the A-Spec trim, I like how everything is completely blacked out. You're gonna see minimal to absolutely no chrome throughout the rest of this whole vehicle, which I personally love. That's my favorite kind of layout here. Chrome Acura badge, of course. Nice and big though, front and center. You got a forward-facing camera on this guy. This does have a full 360-degree camera setup on it. Then you also get your front park sensors on it as well too. A lot of functionality here. Nice big wide open grille, so you get a lot of good air flowing on inside of this. You're also going to get your chicane shaped daytime running LED lights, which is obviously you're going to get in pretty much every single one of your Acura branded products. I love the way it looks. I also have a video of the Acura ZDX, and we also have an RDX and an MDX coming out really soon, so stay tuned for those. One thing I did mention when I was doing the ZDX video is I wish this chicane headlight here, I wish it was sequential turn signal. So it'd be really neat to see the color or the light flowing through it as opposed to the whole thing blinking on and off. Still looks excellent. I'm not going to knock it at all. But we got a single headlight that doesn't have the full dual eye headlights that most of the Acuras are going to have. You just have your one single LED bulb right up front there, and then you're also going to have LED fog lights down there at the very bottom. You actually can get this pack with a package where it has a little bit more of a front or aggressive front splitter kind of popping out here, but I'm loving the front end of this vehicle. It doesn't look like an entry-level model vehicle whatsoever. It's very, very sharp. And another thing that I do like, no cheap plastic around the wheel well. This is all nice. The gloss black goes with everything on the vehicle. You're also going to get your blacked out wheels here, 19-inch here on the A-Spec trim. Then up here, we're gonna have our A-Spec badging. You get this kind of nice little crease even that runs around that wheel well liner. It looks really, really sharp for an entry-level model vehicle. You're gonna have LED indicators here on your mirrors. You are gonna be gloss black. You're gonna have some of the cheaper plastic on the bottom there. That's fine, nobody can see it. You also have the cameras underneath there for the 360 camera setup. And then you have your blind spot monitor symbol there as well too. This does have door handle, the key proximity. So if you just stick your hand in the door handle there, it'll unlock. You can also lock the vehicle that way as well too. Gas cap on the back end here, but the whole side profile of this vehicle, it's kind of simple. Like the front end, super aggressive, tons of sharp lines, blah, blah. I like that they made it kind of simple on the sides. You get kind of a little crease here, kind of interesting little shape right here. You have nice gloss black skirting down at the very bottom. It really looks excellent, super, super sharp all around. But come on around to the back side here. Let's talk about the back end. So this does actually ride on the same chassis as the Integra, the sedan in the lineup, the entry-level model sedan. And you kind of get that feeling when you come back, when you get to the back end here, because these lights here, I think they copy and paste them right from the Integra basically and slap them here on the ADX. Nonetheless, they're great backlights. You got LED turn signals, LED daytime runnings. You also have LED reverse lighting as well too on this. One thing I would like to change up here, since this does have this like little spoiler here, I like when vehicles take the rear windshield wiper and tuck it on up here. When you have this spoiler, it really opens it up and cleans up that whole back end there. But it does look overall very good on the back end here. You got your backup sensors, your backup camera there. This doesn't have a mirror camera, rear view mirror camera. But again, it is an entry-level model vehicle, entry-level luxury to the luxury market as well. So I'm not gonna knock it if it doesn't have that. Then we have nice clean badging here as well too, ADX. All-wheel drive, your little Acura logo, about half the size of the one on the front grille there. But anyways, let's pop open this trunk and we'll talk a little bit more about cargo capacity in this entry-level sized SUV. We're filming here today at Southview Acura in Edmonton, Alberta. Fantastic group of people here. If you're in the area, need a new ride, I highly recommend them. Reach out to them down below. Okay, here we are at the back end. Right before we pop open that trunk, have a look at the key fob. Key fob, you got your engine remote starter at the very top there. Lock, unlock, hold to open up the back hatch there. There's also a button right on it, and then you got your panic button. But you got two key, it actually numbers your key fobs. You got 1 and 2 there. So that actually go in tune with the memory seating, which is kind of neat. So you can set up memory seat number 1 for number 1 key fob. So when I walk into the vehicle with this key fob, it'll go to my exact seating positions. Or if my wife, for example, has key fob number 2, and she goes into the vehicle with that key fob, her seat will adjust to her exact dimensions and exactly how she wanted it laid out. Let's pop this on open here. Have a look at the cargo capacity in the trunk here. So you get this little blind here. I like when vehicles have this, just the high goodies if you have some valuables in it. One thing, it really blocks, like if you want to fold the seats down, you gotta like reach in awkwardly from right here, or have to walk all the way around the side of the vehicle, and that's so exhausting obviously. But anyways, so cargo capacity, it is a 60-40 split folding seat. I'm gonna walk over here to actually fold this on down. It is a relatively nice flat floor, almost flat floor, but I like how they have this little ramp here. So if you are sliding bigger items, it'll go right up the ramp, no problem whatsoever. But stats wise, so inside of this guy with those back seats folded upright, you're looking at 23.2 cubic feet of storage capacity. When you fold the seats on down, you're gonna be looking at a whopping 53.9 cubic feet of space in the back here, which for what it is, an entry-level model SUV, the smallest in the lineup, it's actually not bad, because a lot of the competition out there equivalent to this ADX, they usually actually are a little bit shorter. This is almost the same size as the RDX. The RDX, you're gonna get a little bit wider, a tiny bit longer. So when it comes to cargo portions inside there, you will end up getting quite a bit more, but it doesn't feel like it when you're actually in here. It does feel quite spacious and roomy. But in the back here, you get a couple tie-down points throughout it. You do get LED lighting, which I like to see, especially in an entry-level model. And then you get a little 12-volt socket right over here on the side as well too. And then you can flip up this floor. You can kind of get it right out of the way if you want to. Get some tire repair stuff over there, and then you get some cubbies right here for some goodies that you don't want sliding and banging all around, or if you want to hide them as well too. But anyways, that's about enough for the trunk here. Let's go up in the front seat, see how comfortable the front seat is in this ADX. All right, everybody, here we are inside the ADX. Gonna go over the whole interior now. Let's start over at the doors there. So the doors, some interesting materials on there. A lot of good high quality premium stuff. At the very top there you have soft touch plastic, then all that red portion there is all nice, soft touch, squishy, comfortable, premium leather as well too. And then even like the window buttons there it has like a nice little chrome rim around them. This does have the Bang & Olufsen sound system as well too, so really nice premium sound in here. And right by the door handle you have this like black, it's a plastic texture, but it's like, it looks neat. It's not a carbon fiber design, but it actually looks really nice, and it's encased by a nice chrome line there as well too. As for the door bins, half decent size. It could be a little bit longer, but the width is not bad. You could fit a decent sized water bottle in there, so good on them. But anyways, come on inside here. Let's have a look at the whole interior here on the ADX. We'll start up here at the dash. So soft touch plastic at farther back here. Then we have this nice leather here with some good stitch work there. Coming on down, we have this nice chrome line that you'll see in a lot of their vehicles actually, and then you'll have this plastic bit here as well too. But it all looks very nice and sharp. And you have the glove box nicely damped, and it's a good amount of room in there. You can fit a lot of stuff inside. As far as the seats, you entering inside the vehicle, you have this aluminum sill plate here, A-Spec branded, and then you have your power passenger seat controls right there. And look at these seats. They're very nice looking seats. They have kind of like a suede Alcantara-ish type feel to it there in the whole middle portion, and then outlined headrest, bolstering, everything are all in nice real red leather as well too. But I like the black accents on there. I think these seats look really sharp, and they actually are very comfortable. They're nice and soft, good support all around. I can't complain. Center console, leather wrapped, red leather wrapped. They do a tasteful amount of red leather actually with Acura products. A lot of them are so light red that they almost look pink, and there's way too much of it. The entire dash and this and that. This is a good contrast of black and red detailing throughout the interior. So I think they did a fantastic job. But anyways, center console, 22 baseballs inside there. It might be able to fit maybe one more, but very, very impressive storage inside of there for a smaller vehicle. Usually these are very shallow in entry-level models. So big thumbs up to Acura for that. Cup holder placements, kind of odd though. So you have one cup holder here and then one cup holder up front, and then almost like a phone holder next to it, and you have a wireless phone charging pad. It's nicely textured in sticky rubber as well too, so your phone won't fly around when you're driving around the road there. You have this nice chrome bit here, but then you got a lot of piano black. Now the good thing is there's no piano black buttons, so you're not going to get a lot of fingerprints on here, but this is going to really show scratching and dust over time. But it looks really good when it's brand new right now. Over here you have your drive mode selects. So this is an individual, so you can actually custom tailor this drive mode to your particular liking, or you can toggle on through your dynamic drive modes, and it'll show you the different animations up here on the infotainment screen. So you have your snow mode, comfort, normal, and sport. I like the animations that come with everything. We'll keep it in sport red right now just to go with the rest of the interior. But your digital gauge cluster changes up quite a bit as well too, which I'll show you when we actually come over to the driver hand side. But back down here, we have your engine on and off button. That's the first thing I always click when I get inside of these vehicles, a little hill descent feature, and then your electronic parking brake, and then you have a brake hold there as well too. But anyways, moving on by, I mentioned the cup holder and the wireless charging. You also have two USB ports, and then you got the 12-volt outlet there as well. Coming on up, manual buttons for climate. I'm loving that. So you have ventilated seats for your driver, passenger, and heated seats, 3 stages for both. And then you have all real physical dials, and it has a, I don't know if you can hear it, but a nice satisfying click. And I like how the color changes actually around the dial, whether if you're going warmer or colder, it'll go blue or red. It's a little colder and raining outside right now actually, so we'll keep it nice and toasty in here. But I like the physical buttons. I think they did a great job with that. I hate when everything is only inside of the infotainment screen. And then interesting looking design here with the vents. It's very similar to the HRV, which is a lot of the things inside of the ADX is based off of the HRD platform as well. And then coming right on up to the top, we got a 9-inch infotainment screen. It's kind of got a neat background. It's a moving live background actually. But it's a good infotainment screen. It is very responsive to touch, very intuitive. It has Google Maps, Google Assistant built in. You have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Although they are not wireless, you do have to plug it in via cord. But that's the same as most of the competition out there as well too. But overall, a lot of good technology in here. It's very user friendly as well too, and easy to navigate around. I'll show you the backup camera actually right before we go away here. I clicked a button, there we go, earlier. So yeah, you got your 360 cam on the right there. The door is open, so it looks a little funny on that side, but then your backup camera there. The graphics, the resolution could be a little bit better, but overall it's really not bad. It gets the job done, and it is good. don't worry about that. And then you have a couple manual buttons here on the side. So you got a manual home button, manual back button. I like having those instead of having to always try to find exactly where they are in the vehicle. And then you also have a manual volume knob there as well too, which again, I'm huge fan of. But working our way up, like I mentioned when we were outside, no electronic rear view mirror camera there. Again, I'm not expecting that in these entry-level model vehicles. Would be nice to have though. And then coming up here, you do have your sunglass holder here, and then all your controls for your full-length panoramic sunroof that is tilting and does open fully as well too. But that's about it now for the passenger hand side and center portion. Have a seat in the driver's seat now. Let's talk about steering wheel and gauge setup in the ADX. Okay, driver's side time here in the ADX. Gonna touch quickly here on the door. You do have memory seating for 2 people, like I mentioned when we were out of the trunk earlier. You got your mirror controls, your window controls. I like that they put a little bit of chrome work in those. It really spruces it up and feels a little bit more premium. Bang & Olufsen sound system, speaker, same size door bin, and all the nice soft leather and soft touch materials and whatnot. Only cheap plastic right down at the very bottom, but that's not too bad. And then we have our A-Spec aluminum sill plate here, our adjustable power control, for our power driver's seat here, 12-way adjustable. And now let me take the camera, have a look at our steering wheel and gauge setup here in the driver's seat. So steering wheel looks really nice. It feels great as well too. I like the shape of everything here. It's a nice perforated leather with the red cross stitching throughout. And you got a flat bottom steering wheel with the A-Spec badge. You got a heated steering wheel button right on the steering wheel. And then anyway, so controls wise, left hand side is gonna be a lot of your media controls, your voice activation, volume changing, your volume control, and then you're changing for FM, AM radio, or if you have your phone connected, you change through songs on that. Right hand side here is gonna be cruise control related stuff. So you have adaptive cruise control, so there's your gap adjustment there. It doesn't show anything on the driver display screen right now just because we are in park, but when you have that turned on, it'll show you the gap adjustment and how far you want to be behind the vehicle in front of you. And then as for the gauge here, we're just over 10 inches here for the driver display screen, and a lot of good information that can be found on it. So using this little toggling dial here, I can control the whole right hand side of this screen. So you can go on your navigation, it'll tell you upcoming turns if you have a destination entered into your navigation there. Driver safety, all-wheel drive torque, what did that say? Distribution. Shows you how much power each one of the wheels are doing. I will mention this doesn't have the super all-wheel drive that you're going to find in most A-Spec vehicles, like say like the MDX, RDX, the TLX, the ZDX. It is a different all-wheel drive system that they do put inside the ADX just to kind of help keep the price down a little bit more. And honestly, with the power output only being about 190 horsepower in this ADX, you're not going to need all of the extra functionality and techie features that is provided in this super all-wheel drive that the higher trimmed vehicles have in the Acura lineup. This one shows you who's got their seatbelt on and who doesn't, your maintenance records on here, tire pressure gauge, safety supports, that shows all your adaptive cruise controlling, keeping mitigation, all that good fun stuff there. That's about it. It'll show you the speed limit of the roads that you're on, all that good stuff. No heads-up display here in the ADX. I would like to see that in the future. It is a really nice touch, and it would be a good way to kind of separate the ADX from a lot of its competition out there. And then I like the look of these Bang & Olufsen speakers here, actually on the A-pillar there. It's kind of an interesting design. And then down here we got a couple more buttons. So we got our trunk opening, traction control, and then we also have automatic windshield wiping blades. One really nice touch that they put in the ADX that you don't find in many other Acura products, even the like vehicles that have price tags of $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 over, is these are real aluminum paddle shifters. It's interesting that they put that in the ADX and not, like I mentioned, in higher tiered vehicles. And then I want to show you the animations here for the drive mode select. So you obviously had them there on your infotainment screen, but you're also going to get them on your driver display screen. So you got your sport mode. It changes the look of all the dials and whatnot as well too. Normal, comfort, snow. We'll put her back into sport because we're about to take this thing out on the road right after we finish talking about the back seat. So on that note, let's head in the back, see how comfortable the rear seating passengers are going to be in this ADX A-Spec. Back seat now in the ADX. So starting here at the door. So cheaper kind of plastic on the whole upper portion of this. You do have nice soft leather here in the middle of the door where your arm's gonna be resting. You still get that nice little chrome work there on the window buttons, and that is automatic down and automatic up. And then at the very bottom, more cheap plastic. And they also kind of cheaped out a little bit on the actual door bin. I understand why the back doors aren't as big and long. You can only fit one very medium to smaller size water bottle inside of that. But anyways, seating position. It's actually pretty comfortable back here. Like when it comes to knee room, I got plenty of space. Foot room is pretty good. I can not extend all the way, but again, it's not a full size SUV. I'm not gonna expect that, but the room is good there. And then same thing with headroom. My head nor hair is brushing the roof of the back seat here. So that's fantastic to see. Coming on over, the seats, you get actually all leather, which is actually interesting, as opposed to that suede material that you get in the front seats. Not quite as much bolstering on the sides, and you get that nice kind of black suede on the base and the sides of it. But the seats are very comfortable back here. It is a pretty roomy back seat. When it comes to other vehicles that are in competition with the ADX definitely has a bit more back seat knee room and headroom, in my personal opinion there. In the middle here, and you get an armrest, nice and long actually as well too. Two smaller cup holders that you can only really put two of the little tiny, to go like a tall from Starbucks, a tall coffee, the small one inside that cup holder there. This is a dual zone climate control, so you can't control your own climate here in the back seat, but you do have vents though in the back. You also get two USB-Cs. No storage here in the back of the driver's seat. You do get a pocket here on the passenger seat, and the hump in the middle there is very low. Normally you only see humps this low in electric vehicles. So there's not a big, it's not massive, but the thing is, like, my feet don't quite fit in it, but the thing is, like, there's not a huge slope on either side, so I'm not gonna be fighting too much with people, like my other two rear seating passengers here for leg room. Other than that, that's, the back seat in here is really comfortable. I am impressed with it. Let's get back in the driver's seat though. Let's take this thing out on the road, see how she performs. Okay, here we are driving the ADX. So let's see the acceleration to start things off. Okay, that was about 30 kilometers an hour to about 77 kilometers per hour. It's got a little bit of a whine to it, I'm not gonna lie. It's not the most pleasant, powerful, muscular sound out there, for sure. But that's not what this vehicle is built for. It's not a race car. It's not, a Type S branded vehicle by Acura or anything like that. It's made for, getting better fuel economy and more on the budget side of things all around. Budget, kind of luxury type branded vehicle and all around. But the thing is, like, honestly, the drive wise though, it is actually, the suspension does feel pretty nice and light. The steering is, I have it in sport mode. It definitely, you notice it tighten up quite a bit actually in sport mode here. But I'm gonna switch it over to comfort here, and you feel the steering wheel loosen up a decent amount. And it's nice and light and easy and kind of flows along the road. But technology wise in here, using heated seats and cooled seats and whatnot, and everything that it does have, like the 360 camera group package and all that good stuff. It is very nice technology to have in an entry-level model vehicle. And I think that Acura overall did a pretty good job with, especially the interior design. It is very aesthetically pleasing inside of here. Even though that, the quality of materials aren't the same, say, in an MDX Type S or their platinum packages and whatnot. I think for what this vehicle is, I think Acura did a very good job. It drives really smoothly. It gets great fuel economy. One thing I would do, just because it does share, it shares kind of a platform with the Honda HR-V. They have like a 2-liter turbo in that vehicle lineup that has a little bit more power. but it also is actually a little bit more fuel efficient than this 1.5 liter turbo VTEC engine that you'll find here in this ADX. So in the future, I wouldn't mind actually seeing them bring in that maybe give two different engine options, maybe put like this 1.5 VTEC in their more entry-level model trims to this ADX, and then in like the A-Spec have a 2-liter turbo with a little bit more juice and even a little bit better on fuel economy. But overall, I don't mind the ADX. The size-wise, it is roomy. I don't feel like I'm in a very small, cramped SUV. It's very spacious inside this front seat here, and it has tons of cargo room, like storage spots and whatnot, especially the center console. It's so deep that you can fit a lot of stuff inside of this smaller SUV. So overall, I am very impressed with this ADX. It is a great vehicle, whether it may not be specifically for me being more of a car enthusiast. I think it would, suit a lot of people's needs. But anyways, that's about it for the test drive. I'm gonna go ahead and bring this ADX back to the dealership now, and we'll see you guys back outside. Okay, everybody, that's it for the Acura ADX A-Spec. Let me know down in the comment section how you like this vehicle. Does it stack up a lot against a lot of the competitors? Where is it in the standings? Could you see yourself driving this every single day? Let me know. I'm actually really curious to hear. But thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. If you are a subscriber already, thanks for supporting the channel, hanging around. And if you're not a subscriber, please hit that like, subscribe, comment, share, all the buttons down below. Tell your friends. Other than that, guys, that's it for today. We'll see you next time.